Hi there, I'm back again with another video in our Safe Relationship Training umbrella, our series, if you will, where we're looking at ways in which we can train ourselves to have only safe relationships and situations in our lives. And in order to do that, we need to have certain skills, and we need to have a degree at least of knowledge regarding the types of situations that we can encounter in our lives and in our relationships. And hopefully then we can equip ourselves to be discerning, to be able to have the skills to be able to walk away, for instance, to be able to protect ourselves and what have you. So today I want to talk about the narcissistic boyfriend. Somebody who has very narcissistic traits. In other words, someone who is very high on the narcissism scale can often show a pattern of behaviours, and it's this pattern of behaviours that indicates that we could be interacting with someone who is very narcissistically inclined or potentially has NPD. And today I want to talk about some of the indicators that we may see in a narcissistic boyfriend in particular. And some of the patterns could be very consistent from early on. In other words, there can be some pointers that can indicate high levels of narcissism early on. Some of those indicators can be very overt, and some of them can be very covert, and this is where it can seem a little bit tricky as to what you're dealing with. But at the end of the day, when we use our relationship log and we realise that we can actually see a pattern forming and that the indicators are heading towards narcissism, we can take a step back and we can take appropriate action. So one of these indicators could be that the narcissistic boyfriend tends to be quite overwhelming with attention in the beginning, and it could be a golden period, very romantic period, it can feel almost as if it's too good to be true, and quite often that's because it is too good to be true. It's almost like the fairy tale where the two people come together and they fall in love very quickly and they hand over their hearts to the other person and whatever else they have as well. And that's one of the key patterns in someone who's very narcissistic, is that they like everything on their terms. They believe that they're entitled to have everything on their terms, and that they believe that they're entitled to be pandered to and have their way as much as possible. So the odd behaviour that we see is actually their mindset at work. Whereas we may come to a relationship and believe that we need to do our bit, we need to give as much as the other person. A narcissistic person actually believes that they do have so much to offer, but not as much as a normal person would do. Only in that initial stage, when they're starting to hook people in, do they give a degree anyway, but that degree could be very minuscule. So it could feel as if you're having crumbs thrown at you every now and again, but for the majority of the time, after that initial period, you may find that you are doing most, if not all, of the work. And that is intentional, because you may have been groomed to actually do all the giving. Very narcissistic people like people to do all the work if possible. If not, they certainly want other people to operate on their terms. So everything that happens is done on the narcissistic terms. So you may find that you're asking for certain things to happen doesn't happen because it only happens in alignment with their agenda. So you may find yourself not being able to set boundaries, not being able to ask for what you want. They may initially look as if they're agreeing with you and saying yes, but the outcome generally is that they're just doing their own thing anyway. And a lot of these people have been used to doing their own thing all of their life. So part of that could be them actually believing that they deserve to get what they want, and they're not going to settle for anything else. They don't see why they should give other people what they want because they've been used to getting their own way for so long. So it could feel as though you're in a very draining situation, particularly long term, where you've been groomed to give and give and give, and give specifically in line with the narcissistic person's agenda. So the narcissistic boyfriend can feel draining. They can feel as if they're not there, generally not there for you when you need them to be, if it's an emergency, even a health issue, particularly a health issue because they're stuck on perfectionism. So if you need them for anything like that, they definitely don't want to put themselves out for other people. So you may see them disappear. They may ghost you and may not turn up again at all because you're not being able to give them anything anymore, and that's really what they're interested in. Their agenda is, at the end of the day, what can I get from this person? And what's the minimum I can give in order to get that? So getting sex from you really is just their sense of entitlement. They just believe that that's what they deserve. And let's face it, if they're not going to get it from you, they'll probably get it from someone else anyway. So they believe that all this is their due. It's their right. And how they speak to you, how they treat you, they believe that that's their right. They can say what they want, they can do what they want. They believe they deserve to have partners elsewhere, people on the down low, in the background. So they've got someone coming up. If you should go and get fed up with their antics, they've generally got someone on the go in the background anyway. So I just wanted to give you a bit of a taster there, because there are many patterns with a narcissistic boyfriend that you will see build up over time. So using a relationship lock in this context is a really good idea. One on the website below, you can download, they're free. Also, Becoming a Safe Relationship Connoisseur, my free ebook, might be useful as well for you in that regard. So, as always, stay safe and very happy. Bye-bye.